Yes, indeed. Welcome into another episode of Rip N Riff here on the Rip N Riff YouTube channel. First and foremost, a happy birthday to the man to my left, I guess, if you're looking from my perspective or right. But either way, happy birthday, Mr. Jared Moore. Also, would be remiss if we didn't say Happy Mother's Day to anybody, any of the mothers that might be catching this. You do way more than you're giving credit for, and yeah. So appreciate everything you do, and hope you got to do nothing yesterday or whatever you wanted to do. I will say before we get going today, so the cards that we got for my wife, me and my daughter, they were out. And whenever I get Tammy a card, I write, I always write a little something in there. I usually try to be funny. So I wrote, thanks for everything you do for Annabelle and I, and thanks for being a sweet piece of ass. And Annabelle's like, I come downstairs and she's like, oh, I'm reading the cards that we gave mommy for Mother's Day. I'm like, let me just take one of those out of the pile, please. Thank you. You don't need to read that. Yeah. The adventures of having an almost 7-year-old. But nonetheless, yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's good. Yeah. She gets in everything. So you can't sleep on her. So she's always into something. But nonetheless, we're here to rip packs today. We're going to talk some sports. We got baseball. We got a rare basketball pack. Got a couple of hockey packs. Maybe we'll talk a little football if there's some time there. But before we get going here, of course, we always got to do our pack ripping lineup. Let's see what we're doing today. There we go. So we got a little 2008 Topps baseball, some 2025 26 Series 2 Upper Deck. We've got some 2014-15 Fleer Ultra, decent rookies in that class, and then some 2000-2001 Topps NBA Tipoff. So there we go. So Jared, I think you're going to lead things off today with a little baseball there.
Yeah, look at this big boy. This is a thick boy right here. 46 cards, 44 if there's a relic card in the pack. So I don't know if this is like one of those hangers from back in the day or what it is, but it's a big pack of cards, and we're gonna dive through it. We're gonna remember some guys, and that's gonna be the way it is. And we'll remember exactly. Like we'll remember David Weathers because his son Ryan Weathers is on the Yankees right now, part of their rotation, and rough weekend for the Bombers in Milwaukee, getting swept. But overall, a very good start to the season.
Let's not overlook that David Weathers was an important part of that 96 bullpen for the Yankees. He was like a trusted lefty guy out of the bullpen that you needed a tough out, he could come in and get it.
Yep. So we start there. We'll go through a lot of these guys pretty quickly, at least the less notable ones. Sorry, Chris Roy, we're not going to spend a lot of time on you.
One thing that 2008 does show is a cross section, because you're going to pull guys like David Weathers and you're going to pull guys that maybe are still playing today. But that's a stretch. But maybe guys.
Yeah, there's probably not going to be a lot of guys in this pack that are still playing today. Yeah. But I would imagine almost all of them are retired at this point. John Lester, obviously a really good pitcher for a long time with the Red Sox and the Cubs, part of several World Championship teams. A guy who should be in the Hall of Fame, Carlos Delgado.
Yes,
with the Mets.
For everything he did with Toronto and the Mets, yep. He had a good career with both.
Orlando Cabrera with the Angels here. Let's see. Freddie Gonzalez, manager card here with the Florida Marlins.
I haven't heard of Freddie Gonzalez's name in a long time.
No, and that's back when before the Marlins got the new stadium, so they were still playing outdoors at Joe Robbie or whatever they were calling it back then. So all those 97, 99 degree days for first pitch and South Florida late afternoon rainstorms, you understand why they got indoor park.
Pro Player Stadium, that was another name it had. Remember Pro Player?
Pro Player,
the starter jackets.
Pro Player was like the competitor starter, right?
Yeah, that was that was the say not B brand, but it was still a quality product, but it wasn't a starter.
Right. Let's see. Jonathan Broxton here with the Dodgers. Aaron Hill with the Blue Jays. Solid starting pitcher in his day. Let's see. Omar Vizquel with the Giants.
But they apparently a piece of shit now.
You said it, not me, but I don't disagree with you. Guy who's not a piece of shit, Tim Lincecum here, 2-time Cy Young winner with the Giants.
People love Tim Lincecum, Bay Area. Love Tim Lincecum. And
I could see why.
Yeah.
I could see why. Like I don't know him personally or anything like that, but like he seems like a down to earth, chill dude, and like the way he just burst onto the scene immediately. He was good. He won his 2 Cy Youngs. He was part of a couple of those championship teams, and then just kind of flamed out. Like, he had a fun little career.
Not many pitchers get this status, but for at least a good 2 to 3 seasons, it was like every 5th day when he was going, it's like, all right, I'm gonna throw the Giants game on at least for a little bit, even if you weren't a fan of the team. You had to like his everything, his delivery, his
Right, we've seen that a lot, especially like in the New York area, because like the Mets have had so many of those pitchers over the years. Like first with Harvey, and then DeGrom, and the
Santana.
Yankees had that for a little bit with Tanaka.
Yes.
So, I mean, now we're getting to the point with the Yankees where Cam Schlittler's entering that territory.
He's been fantastic this
year. Yeah, so it's fun when you have a starting pitcher like that. That's just appointment television. Ron Washington, really good manager with the Texas Rangers. Also enjoyed his I don't want to say cameo in Moneyball, but like the guy who portrayed him in the Moneyball, I enjoyed that.
That's also used to be one of Mad Dog's like go-to guys for like a guest, like for baseball, when he like wasn't a position coach, like between jobs.
Yeah, let's get Ron Washington on. Let's see, Brian Fuentes with the Colorado Rockies. I used to listen to I forget which podcast it was. It was one of the ESPN fantasy podcasts, and they would refer to like when you had a closer that got like a clean save, like 1, 2, 3, it was like whatever was a regular save. But like whenever it was a save where like the guy would like walk 2, he'd give up a run, but he'd still get the save. They'd call it a dirty Fuentes, and they named it after Brian Fuentes.
I like that. Yeah, sometimes you get the win, even though you get the blown save, but then they bail you out in the bottom of the inning, and you get the win.
Right.
That needs to
be. Let's see. We have an NL Most Valuable Player card here with Jimmy Rollins. I guess this is going to be our insert card here and our nominee for Pull of the Day.
There we go. He was really good shortstop for a very long time in Philly.
All right. Here's something you don't see every day. It's not often you see a campaign/political card mixed in with baseball cards. But you'll notice like all these cards, it says on the top, like the team, like the Phillies and whatnot.
Yeah.
So here we got GOP Fred Thompson card. So you might remember Fred Thompson because he had a recurring cameo in Law and Order.
So they couldn't even give you like a John McCain or somebody like that. They got to give you like come on now. Like at least give me a hit. If you're gonna give me a political.
I just hope they're fair and balanced. Like I expect a Democrat card in here as well.
Well, equal time, right? It's got to be
exactly.
Yeah,
there should be equal time here. Jacques Jones here with the Cubs. Let's see, Hunter Pence with the Astros. Hunter Pence, by the way, pretty good broadcaster.
Yes, very, very, very good.
Let's see.
Another guy very well liked in the Bay Area.
I would imagine anyone that was like a key part of those world championship teams would be well liked in the Bay Area.
I mean, the guys are Kruko and Kipe, the guys that call the games on TV for NBC Sports Bay Area. Like those are still like the day what those guys go, it will be a very, very sad, dark day in this part of the country. There will be a lot of very upset people.
Well, I wouldn't think they would let him go. Like I would imagine there will come a day when they retire.
I mean, when they pass away. I mean, when they.
Oh well, yeah.
When they've thrown their final pitch or taken their final at bat, however you want to, whatever analogy.
Yeah, I mean, we got a bit of that this past week with the passing of John Sterling and everyone remembering John, and obviously John was such a huge part of like you and me growing up, like listening, watching and listening to Yankee games in this area. So, I mean, I totally get it.
And listen, I know like Sterling could be over the top. Carnival barker is a term I've heard used.
But that's part of his appeal.
That's part of it. And Apparently it worked because he had what 5,600 games plus behind the booth. A lot of them consecutive. I want to say like he went like literally like 20 years or something without missing a game or something crazy like that.
He had a long career before he got to the Yankees. Like he did the Atlanta Hawks, he did the Atlanta
Islanders.
Braves, he did the Islanders. So
he was also a sports talk host on WMCA, an old station back in the day in New York. That's where Mad Dog got his start locally. To me, like, and for me, radio play-by-play broadcasters probably, TV because they're in your living room, but radio, like they have to paint the picture more. You're going out of if you're listening to a game on the radio, you are that dedicated that you're in the car.
Radio is more part of the family.
Yeah, because it's
especially like you're listening on the radio. Like a lot of times, you're listening in the car. You're actually with family, so it's almost like they're an unofficial member of the family.
Like for me, this goes to, and even though like I found John Sterling annoying at times when he would be over the top. So the Yankees' last homestand at the old stadium, they finished against the Orioles, and then they had the White Sox before that. And I went to one of those White Sox games, and that was one of those games where like the security had to kick people out because nobody wanted to leave after the final pitch because it was the last homestand. And I was going on a trip to San Diego with my buddy at the end of that week. And we were going to go up to Big Bear Mountain down in Southern California, but we were going to be driving back at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Sunday Night Baseball, last game, Yankees Orioles. And I said, this is how far back I have to go. I'm like, we're paying for the Sirius XM in the rental car because I want to hear John Sterling's voice for the last game at Yankee Stadium. So I don't want to hear the ESPN, no disrespect to whoever was doing it at the time. I want Sterling's voice to guide me home while I listen to the game 3,000 miles away or whatever it is.
I get it. I totally get it. Rest easy, John. So we got let's continue here. We have Angel Guzman with the Cubbies, Josh Barfield with the Indians. Let's see, Sean Green with the Mets. Our first Yankee card here, first baseman of the future, Andy Phillips.
Wow,
that was the thing.
Yeah,
there was first baseman of the future, Andy Phillips, and center fielder of the future, Bubba Crosby.
Oh, I don't know if I sent it to you. I was at a card show last weekend and I saw a Yankees futures card that I meant to set like the three names on it. I'm like, that's comical. Let me see if I can find it here. Hold on.
All right. While you're looking for that, let's see. We have Dan Johnson from the A's, Jason Bartlett with the Twins. Let's see. One of Mike Babchick's favorite players, BJ Ryan with the Blue Jays.
Good old Babchick. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, it's a talent pipeline, and then it's Estevan Florio, Diego Garcia, and Clark Schmidt. There you go.
Well, 0 out of 3 ain't bad. Clark Schmidt's okay. Like he's still in the rotation now. He's injured because he had Tommy John late last year.
I'm buying it, but I found that comical.
No, I found it comical too. It's funny. I forget who the players were, but there was a video that surfaced on Yankees Twitter like maybe like a year and a half ago, like right after they lost. Like it was either after they lost the World Series or maybe they lost the playoff series like the year before or something like that. And it was of the Yankees like front office talking about like their prospect pool and whatnot. And just talking about these guys like they were can't miss, and then like you would hear the names they were talking about. It's like these guys turn out to be total scrubs, but like they're just so like high in their supply and their belief of like who they think is going to be the stud in the future, and then it turns out the guy absolutely stinks. So
I feel like
I just found that
out of all the sports, I know drafts are crapshoots, but I feel like baseball by far is the biggest crapshoot. And I know you're taking more picks because you have more positions. You have more levels of minor leagues to fill. I get all that, but I you know what I mean? Like a guy gets taken in the first round in the MLB draft by my team. I'm like, great.
Is he going to sign? Well, that's the first question. Is he going to sign or is he going to go to college?
And then two, it's like, all right, so, how long, like, in every other sport, if you're first overall, you're pretty much a lock to either play that year or get playing time, or in the exception of maybe a quarterback, you're going to sit maybe occasionally to learn behind like a Kirk Cousins or something like that.
Right. Baseball, it takes so long for these guys to actually make it to the big leagues.
So to me, that's why it's more of a crapshoot. It's like, No,
100%. Although I will give the Yankees credit that they have done a better job churning out actual major league players from their farm system over the last like decade or so.
Yeah.
So I give them credit for that. Let's see. We have a league leaders AL for RBIs with A-Rod, Maglio Ordonez, and Vlad Guerrero Sr. So you have that one there. And so the equal time for both sides. Can't leave the NL out. So we have Matt Holliday, Ryan Howard, and Miguel Cabrera here on the National League side for our runs battle.
Those are our 6 mashers right there.
Yep. Let's see. And of all those players, let me just take another quick look at it. Yeah, one guy who's already in the Hall of Fame in Vlad, one guy who should be in there in A-Rod who's not going to get in, and one future Hall of Famer, Miguel Cabrera. So it's not bad.
No, not bad.
Let's see. We have a AL League leader for home runs. We have ourselves Alex Rodriguez again, along with Carlos Pena and David Ortiz. So there you go. It actually tells you on the back of the card like what their stats were for that particular season. So, and this was 07. So this is A-Rod, the third of his MVP seasons.
And I think he will get in the Hall of Fame one day once some of these voters that can't like start to age out. I think he'll eventually, but it might be a situation where he's too old to really appreciate it by then.
I don't know. I mean, the problem with A-Rod is they put in the steroid testing while he was playing, and he flunked the actual tests. And he got suspended for using performance-enhancing drugs. Like, Bonds never got, like, actually suspended for it. And Clemens, like, never got suspended for it. And, like, you could at least kind of, like, craft the argument, like, yeah, well, it might have been illegal, but these guys weren't breaking rules at the time. It's kind of like that, like, moral, like, gray area.
I always love that argument. Yeah, it's illegal, but it wasn't illegal in baseball. Wait, so the steroids are illegal to have in this country.
Right, yeah.
The baseball games, but it's not illegal in the game. So it's okay. Right. Oh, baseball is this bastion of lawlessness.
Oh, I know. It's a very silly argument, but it's one that's made nonetheless. We got a couple old school looking cards here. 50th anniversary Andre Dawson card.
Oh, I like that one. Nice
one. Let's see. We have a similar style card here with Mickey Mantle.
Nice. That's a nice one. And my 1 o'clock meeting got canceled, so double nice.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have a year in review card here with Mark Burley throwing a no-hitter.
I forgot about Mark Burley. Was another one for a few years there where he was just shout out Bill Zimmerman. That's probably one of his guys right there. Part of that World Series team in 05.
So he threw a perfect game and then he threw a no-hitter as well. I thought he threw a perfect game as well.
So baseball reference should have that like on like the banners on the top, like All-Star Gold Glove, like should be like throwing perfect game.
Yeah, well, while you're looking that up, Miguel Cabrera owned the game card here with the Florida Marlins.
Some decent inserts there.
By the way, I still have a ton of cards. So, like, I've already gone through it, and like I still have all these to go.
So yes, he had a perfect game against the Tampa Bay Rays in July of 09, and then a no-hitter 2 years prior to that against the Rangers. Funny, I had a buddy that was actually at that perfect game. Him and his friends were in Chicago just visiting the city. They had nothing to do for the afternoon, and it was an afternoon White Sox game. Like, screw it, let's go to the White Sox game. They saw a perfect game.
That's funny you mentioned that. My best friend from high school was at the Tim Lincecum no-hitter in San Francisco. Same thing, same thought process. Just happened to be in town, went to a random ball game that day, and that was the game.
I missed Domingo Germán's perfect game by a night because the Yankees had a 2-game
That's set. Right, yeah.
They had a 2-game set against the A's, and something that was telling me go Wednesday, but my wife had to work, and it wasn't something I was going to ask her to swap shifts for because I could go Tuesday. So I go Tuesday, and the Yankees have no offense that day. The lowly A's, beat up on them, and then perfect game next day.
Yeah.
God damn.
We have let's see, a trading card history 1895 Mayo cut plug card here of Roger Clemens.
I thought it was gonna be like some like Three Fingers Brown like guy that like Mad Dog could like give you a 3-minute like speech on.
No, and it's not like a starting right fielder that's been dead for 150 years either. So there you go. Let's see. All right, back to the normal cards here. Jason Hirsch with the Rockies. Yunel Escobar with the Braves. Whatever.
Hey,
Zach Greinke with the Royals.
Greinke is another one that was good for a while too.
Yeah. Let's see. Finally, I have a rookie card here. Unfortunately, it's someone I never heard of with Joe Kahansky with the Rockies.
Yeah, I ain't doing.
Let's see. Richie Sexton with the Mariners. Mike Fontenot with the Cubbies. Ryan Dempster with the Cubbies. I enjoy Ryan Dempster on TV. He does a good job on Intentional Talk with Millar and Sierra Santos. Pirates, Ronnie Polino. King Felix Hernandez.
We talked about guys every fifth day. King Felix was like that for a good 3-4 seasons.
That's another one of those guys. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Let's see. Jim Thome with the White Sox.
Remember when everybody thought he was coming to the Yankees, Felix Hernandez? That was like the big thing for a little while.
I feel like, yeah, I mean, I feel like it's like that with every star player. Like that comes up in like a smaller market is like eventually they're gonna be linked to the Yankees at some point. Like just kind of is what it is. Let's see. We have Mark Loretta here with the Astros. We have Mad Dog Radio listener Mark Reynolds. I still have his number on my phone.
Decent third baseman, corner guy for a while.
Yeah. We have a guy who did make it to the Yankees at one point. Edwin Encarnacion was there at the end of his career.
That's right. Also a good third baseman there for a while in Cincy.
Yep. Let's see. We have Preston Wilson with the St. Louis Cardinals, son of Mookie, and Mike Cameron here with the Padres. And that will do it for this jumbo pack of 2008 Topps MLB cards.
Mike Cameron, good center fielder for a long time out there.
Really good player. Yeah. A lot of really good players in that pack. Not a lot of unknowns there. The one rookie card we got was an unknown, and there were kind of, some lesser known, some role players there, but for the most part, like, pretty good. I mean, didn't really get a lot of Yankees, unfortunately. So selfishly, was rooting for that, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. Talk some baseball. We talked about John Sterling. Thing that's going on that's big right now, of course, for Jared and I, we're big hockey guys. Stanley Cup Playoffs here. And get some 2014, 2015 Fleer Ultra. I wasn't even I know that they made them that late, but Fleer Ultra was. I remember like those 92, 93, 94 sets, like that look. That's one of my favorite looks of all time for a card. Like I love it. So Fleer Ultra is always a good one. There's some good rookies in that class. Johnny Gaudreau being one of them. Or this weekend, just talking some Stanley Cup playoffs. Hurricanes complete the second straight sweep. First over Ottawa in the first round, then over Philly. Then we have Minnesota's got a chance to even things up tonight against Colorado. Vegas, Anaheim knotted up at 2 apiece. And what's the series?
Montreal taking it to Buffalo last night.
Montreal taking Buffalo out behind the woodshed there. Shout out Christopher Perez, very happy about that. See how things go. Game 4 in that series. We'll see how Buffalo responds. This is the second time that maybe they faced a little adversity in the playoffs. Let's see how they handle it.
Yep. All right. Without further ado, we'll get to these packs. Only 2 of them, but they're 5 cards each, so we'll breeze through them pretty quickly.
And I got hockey as well. And we might even do a bonus pack. We'll see.
Who knows? Man, we might have all sorts of time now. Your meeting got canceled.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we got and this is the penultimate of Rip N Riff of the season, so can't leave too much in the tank.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, what do we got here? We got ourselves. We will start with Steve Mason with the aforementioned Flyers. Good season for the Flyers. You can't really complain about getting to the playoffs, and they got to experience winning a playoff series, and they got to experience losing a playoff series. So that's sort of what you want for a young team.
And honestly, like people like, oh, losing, like losing in the playoffs will help you in the future. Like there's that story the Gretzky or Messier say when the first time they got to the Stanley Cup and lost to the Islanders after the Islanders had won their 4th in a row, they had to walk by their locker room to get to the bus to leave. And he thought like it would be this ruckus, loud environment in the Islanders locker room. They just won a Stanley their 4th cup in a row. And he's like, it was quiet. Guys were draped in bags of ice. Who was popping Advil? It was like, it was an eye opener to see like that's what it takes to win the cup, and then Edmonton goes and wins next year. So, yeah, it's Good for the Flyers. Good for the fans. Shout out Rob Pepitone, who went down to that game 4. Had to watch him lose. That's, it sucks to see your season end in overtime, but the fans responded the right way too. Like they know good times ahead for the Flyers.
Yep. Let's see. We go right from that to guy who's still going. I don't know if going strong is the right term in the league, but the guy who is still playing, Tomas Hertl, now with the Golden Knights, has struggled to find the back of the net.
He scored last night. He went 29 games. He did get it finally last night.
Right. It's not like he wasn't generating scoring chances. It's just like he just wasn't finding the back of the net for a while. So,
and Hertl's one of those players that does so much else. Like, okay, fine, you want him to be scoring, but it's not like if he's not scoring, he's not doing anything. He does plenty of other.
Yeah, 100%. Let's see. We have Patrick Sharp here with the Blackhawks. Yeah, but we're very professional.
There you go. By the way, Vegas Anaheim. What do you? Now that we're knotted up at 2 apiece, who do you think's emerging from that? I still think Vegas is going to emerge, but Anaheim's giving them a good fight. That could go 7. That could certainly go 7.
With the exception of Game 3, Anaheim's been the better team throughout basically the entire series. Like the first 2 games.
Good.
But yeah, like the first 2 games, I think Anaheim outplayed them for 5 of the 6 periods or whatever it was.
But isn't this like Vegas's whole season in a nutshell? Like the amount of regulation, like the victories they had in regulation, how many overtime losses they had, and yet they're still here. They still win. Like this is what
battle tested. I mean, they got a ton of experience. I mean, they've been here before, so like we know what Vegas is. I think I lean Anaheim, just because I feel like they've taken it to they're not intimidated going up against Vegas, and they've sort of taken it to them in this series. So, but Vegas is home ice 2 of the last 3, and Vegas could very easily bounce back and win Game 5. They know how to bounce back, so we shall see.
If we at this point they're probably playing for the right to lose to Colorado. But let's say Minnesota comes back and wins that series. Who would you give a better chance at beating Minnesota, Vegas or Anaheim? I might actually give Anaheim because they can at least keep up offensively, I feel like. Mark Stone's hurt for Vegas now. We'll see when he's coming back.
Yeah, probably Anaheim.
I think Vegas would struggle to shut down something that high octane, whereas Anaheim, like, all right, fine, we're going to have to get into a run and gun kind of game here.
Yeah, I think I would go Anaheim there. Let's see. Well, I
still think Minnesota would win, but Anaheim would give them more of a fight.
Yeah. We have a former Golden Knight here, Max Pacioretty, who was famously traded for Nick Suzuki, who is now the captain of the Montreal Canadiens, and turned out to be a pretty good trade for both sides.
Sure did. I mean, listen, top line center, does everything you need him to do. Yeah, I think Montreal's happy with how that worked out.
And last but not least, it's funny with the Oilers. We always talk about how they can never find a goalie. And this went back to 2014 as well with Ben Scrivens in that. So there you go.
All right. So now I want to let's look at the Edmonton Oilers goalies all time. Yeah, goalie history year by year. All right.
Well, like Grant Fuhrer probably leads the franchise in like all.
I just like how miserable it's been in the McDavid era. So we know Skinner, Campbell, Pickard this year. Last year, Koskinen, Mike Smith, Skinner. The year before that, Mike Skinner, Koskinen, Stuart Skinner, Alex Stalock. 2019-2020, Mike Smith, Mikko Koskinen, Stu Skinner. 18-19, Koskinen, Talbot, Stolars. I mean, yeah, it's just it's going to be interesting to see how this ends with McDavid and Edmonton. He's not finishing his career there. I would be extremely surprised if he goes back for one more round in Edmonton. I cannot see him staying. Especially with the way they're talking, or like, hey, we're going to find that makes everybody happy. Oh, okay. You know what you need to do to make McDavid happy? Get him a damn goalie. That's it.
Get him a goalie, but
that would be a start.
Their supporting cast isn't that great.
It's not, and it's hampered by Darnell Nurse's contract, and the blue line is adequate. Just to be like, Bouchard's great, Ekholm is great, and then after that it gets a little thin, but it's adequate. Wallman's all right, Nurse is all right. He doesn't play up to his contract, but he still plays okay. They've got the Stanley Cup.
But even their blue line has flaws. Like Bouchard, like you say, is adequate. Like he's good offensively. Like he doesn't defend.
but they've gotten to the Stanley Cup despite their goaltending. So to me, it's like you got to do one or the other, and you can't keep trotting like the Calvin Pickards of the world out there and the Connor Ingrams of the world out there. Like that's just nobody takes that as a serious attempt to fix an obvious flaw. You know, I know Vegas had like with the way Vegas played over the last couple of years, you could take an Aiden Hill, put him behind that blue line, and he's going to look like a pretty decent goalie. So, but they don't have the cap flight. Like I don't know. It's just at some point you have to show that you've tried. And I understand they're hamstrung, but like you got to figure it out. Like he's gonna.
Well, I'm sure the Devils haven't lightly used Jacob Markstrom. They would be more than happy to have them take off their hands.
Yeah, that'll.
Let's see. We have Marian Hossa here with the Blackhawks. Obviously, a Hall of Fame career cut short because of his allergic reaction to his equipment.
Yeah, there are things you can play through. You cannot play through having an allergic reaction to something that covers your entire body. Just not happening.
Yeah. Let's see. Paul Martin here with the Penguins. Really good defenseman for a long time.
Former Devil.
Chris Letang still going strong with the Penguins. We'll see how the Penguins respond to their first round playoff ouster. I look at the Penguins with that series, and I think it sort of tells me everything you need to know in terms of if they can't get past the Flyers in the first round, that they're not winning another championship with their core as presently constructed, and it's time to start moving on from the Crosby, Malkin, Letang core. I mean, obviously you keep Crosby as long as you want, but like Malkin's a free agent at the end. Like, peace out, see ya. Like I would let him walk.
Well, here's the thing. Malkin said he's not looking for much more than his whatever he's like the 6.1 or whatever was the number I saw. So like, yeah, there's a tempt if Ovi's coming back. There's a temptation to go there and play with his friend, but it also could be bad optics if the guy's like, listen, if Sid can take 8.7, I'll take 6.1. I want to hang around, and they're like, no, get out of here. That's not a great look either if you take that kind of discount. But what you did see sometimes in the playoffs is experience versus youth and energy. That's Pittsburgh didn't have a chance in that series. I really thought they were going to win it going in, but they were exposed in that series a little bit. Like Philly's going to only be better next year. So
yeah,
because that's the thing. Like Pittsburgh might go back to the playoffs next year, but that's it. They're not going to, like you said, they're not there's no chance of like, let's get one more for Sid unless they drastically make some changes.
Yeah, and you're going to have teams eyeing that Pittsburgh playoff spot in the Metro of like who these teams are going to look to take the spot from. Like the Devils are bringing the eye in that spot. The Blue Jackets, the Capitals if they bounce back. So like we'll see.
Islanders,
not
the Rangers, basically.
Well, no. I mean, it would have been nice for them if they had won the draft lottery, but that wasn't meant to be. So.
Oh, dude, people out here getting the number 2 overall pick, the Sharks, they're like so freaking happy. They are like it's like you've given a kid like they're like all the possibilities. What do we do? Do we trade like that? Now the big argument is like, do we take a defenseman? It's like, no, you take whatever layer between Stenberg and McKenna. Like, don't overthink that. You want to do that with the second pick or trade that out, but do not do anything stupid.
Yep. Let's see. We have 2 more cards here. Henrik Zetterberg with the Red Wings. I like these packs because they're star heavy. For the most part, Ben Scrivens aside, like we've got a lot of heavy hitters in these packs, and last but not least, your guy Chris Kreider with the Rangers, a young Chris Kreider there.
No facial, that's a baby face Chris Kreider right there. And he's doing very well with the Ducks. It's funny, you get him under some competent coaching, and wow, look. So he's fitting well with the Ducks. Zetterberg with the Red Wings. I want to see what Detroit does this offseason. Like, you want to talk about a team that has to make a big splash, change things up.
I'm done talking about Detroit and like them making the big splash and finally getting over the hump. I'm not doing it again. I'm not talking about the Yzerman plan again. I'm just done with them.
That's the thing. Like, at some point, it's like this is your probably. He's gotten as long a leash as he's going to get because he's a franchise icon. You got to make, like, I know Elias Pettersson.
They're not going to make a change. If they were going to move on from Yzerman, they would have done it already.
So, like, what's going to be his big swing? Elias Pettersson was one of the names that was been thrown around for, last year at the deadline and stuff. So,
yeah, go trade for a $12 million center who hasn't been good in 2 years. See how that works out for you.
Exactly. See how that works out. So here we go. We're going to keep the hockey rolling here. I got some Series 2. You know what we're looking there for. We already got a Schaefer Young Guns out of that. Maybe we'll get a Misa. We'll see. See what we got here. Let's start off here. No Rip Cam today. That computer finally said farewell to us. Is what it is.
R.I.P. in peace.
R.I.P. There we go. So we start off with a Yoel Hofer, St. Louis Blues card. He came on strong in the second half last year. He's going to be a guy to, for fantasy drafts next year. Keep an eye on him. But he looked good for the Blues in the second half.
Looks to be the heir apparent in net there in St. Louis once they finally move on from Binnington.
Speak of the devil, how often do you get a goalie tandem in one pack?
Oh, jeez. That's funny. It turned out to be the next card.
We'll do like the Monday Night Football.
Which, by the way, one of my favorite animations of the 90s was the Monday Night Football intro when the two helmets would just collide into each other and destroy each
Al
other.
Frank and Dan era. You'd get the good setup with Frank Gifford. He would do in come the Kansas City Chiefs, and you get a 20-second blurb on them, and then something about the Raiders, and then it's all coming up on Monday Night Football. Yeah, come on, they don't make them like that anymore.
No, they don't.
I listen, I get it's simple. It's Tim the Toolman Taylor, kind of man stuff. Give me those helmets clashing before every damn game like that. I loved on the Sunday broadcast where you'd come in and it would be the scene setter. You'd come in on the wide shot of the stadium with the graphic overlay with the team. Yeah, man, that was where it was at for me.
No, now everything has to be like a pregame concert, whether it's Carrie Underwood with Sunday Night Football or whatever they do on Monday nights now with Snoop Dogg or whoever it is, and every network's got to be some party of some singer that nobody cares about singing, and the worst part with it's gone from the NFL to the NBA as well. The NBC NBA thing has Lenny Kravitz doing a pregame concert. It's why? Who asked for this? It's I don't dislike Lenny Kravitz, but what are we doing here?
Next thing you know, we're going to be opening wide for some soccer. That's going to be the next one for the World Cup.
Yes.
Arriaga too. We got Ryan McLeod here with the Buffalo Sabres. And again, you talk about guys that Edmonton have, had to let go for one reason or another. Dylan Holloway, couldn't afford to keep him. He's done well in St. Louis. Ryan McLeod, perfect third line center. Edmonton could certainly use that depth, but can't keep everybody. But it seems like they don't keep the right guys. Karel Vejmelka, Utah Mammoth, looking shot there, making a save. Impressive first round. I saw today that they are looking to make a big splash in the offseason, and they are one of the few teams that could pull off an Austin Matthews trade. So keep an eye out there because they're not going to trade Matthews in the East. You can bet whatever you want on that. He's not going anywhere in the Eastern Conference. They're shipping him out west. So there you go. San Jose's been another one. I know it's crazy. I would put East is a big piece. You won't have to give up as many picks. I would if you could bring Matthews in, you're ready to make that jump. I would consider that.
What, me sending the number 2 pick for Matthews?
I don't know if I'd give up this year's number 2. I mean, yeah, you probably have to include that if you can't get away with including future ones, but might have to do a little more than this. Misa and the 2 this year, but yeah, that would be a good start. Get Matthews. Now you got a Macklin, Celebrini, Matthews 1-2 punch. Now we all know McDavid likes playing with Celebrini, so maybe Greer is gonna have pseudo stand pat until that situation resolves itself a little bit more. See, Maverick Bork with Dallas. Jake Ottinger, got to give him credit coming out in the the wrap up saying I was as good as I wanted to be, and I needed to be better for this team. He said basically said I didn't accomplish anything I wanted this year. I wanted to win a Vezina. I wanted to start a game for Team USA. I wanted to win a Stanley Cup. I didn't get any of those. So kudos on him for acknowledging it.
Maybe he should play better.
Maybe play better. Samuel Montembeault now going to be the guy behind. I guess we'll see. Jacob Fowler and Dobesh is going to probably be the 1-2 punch there for a while. But if Dobesh is their guy, try and flip Fowler, try and trade Fowler for something else. Montreal could definitely use a second line center. That is something for sure that they would love to have. I know that that would make a big difference in that division. We got Owen Zellweger here with the Anaheim Ducks. Talked about that Vegas Golden Knights series a little while ago. Got our third blue of the pack, Philip Broberg, another guy that Edmonton could not figure out how to keep and had to let go. And got off.
This has been the Dunk on Edmonton podcast.
Sorry, Oilers fans. Edmonton's a lovely city. There's not much going on, but it's very nice. We got Kyle Connor there with the Winnipeg Jets, clearly celebrating one of his many goals. Let's see, sizzle reel here. We got Dustin Wolf making a save on Will Smith. Local Bay Area native out of Gilroy, California, Dustin Wolf, the garlic capital of the world.
The garlic capital of the world?
Yeah, dude, like when you drive through on the 101, like going through Gilroy, it smells like garlic. Like it's where
I mean, that rocks because garlic's awesome.
Yeah, it's where he's from, Dustin Wolf. It's like right a little bit south of San Jose, like maybe about 40 minutes south.
Well, you won't have to deal with any vampires, so that's nice.
That's true. If you have a fear of vampires, go live there. They'll never come. We got an upper deck portraits of Joaquim Kemel. I can't say I know much about that Predators prospect.
Nope.
Some of those portraits are a little creepy though. You know?
Yeah, it's like the whole Two-Face vibe. I don't really like those cards.
Not feeling it. You know what? I also don't love the canvas cards. Like unless it's like a cool picture, like canvases, I'm always going to try and sell a trade in. And we do get a Young Guns here, Taylor Ward with the Kings, guy that they're going to rely on for sure in the next season to be a bigger part of what they do. Always love pulling a Young Guns. Always hold on to those because you never know when they're going to pay off.
Never know.
We got a little bit of time here. I got 2 5-card packs of Upper Deck Allure that's just sitting here. Just gonna rip them open before we get to the basketball. Let's keep the hockey rolling, not the hockey. Of course, because I'm doing this one on the fly, it's gonna give me a problem opening. There we go. All right. So first up in the Upper Deck Allure, we've got Capital Center, Landstrom. That's our second one today, my friend.
I love the look of those cards.
Upper Deck Allure is where it's at for me. Like, that's probably the best one they do.
I gotta get me some more of those.
Let's see. We've got a rookie Allure, Jack Williams, Columbus Blue Jackets, with my favorite Blue Jacket sweaters with the cannon on the front. Like those are always sharp to me. They should make those the permanent dark ones. Let's see here. We've got a Matvey Mishkov here. Base. He got benched in the playoffs and then bounced back at a good game. They're certainly going to expect a lot of things out of him in year 3 next year. Philly's going to take that step. Let's see here. We've got.
I feel like we're headed for a divorce there.
Yeah, I think that's because, like, if you know anything about like Keith Jones, Danny Briere mentality, Mishkov doesn't seem to fit it. So yeah, I could see that being like a draft day kind of trade to somebody. Get a pick.
Yeah, they trade him for like a late first round pick and like some, I don't know, B-level prospect, and they just cut their losses and move on.
Somebody will take a chance on him, or maybe you ship him off to Calgary or something like that. Let's see here. We got Morgan Riley with the Leafs. We'll see what they do with him. His best days are behind him, but he would still be serviceable on another team. And we do have a red rainbow parallel here, Shea Theodore, who all of a sudden is blocking shots in the playoffs. I guess that's what happens when John Tortorella becomes your coach. Like, you're going to block shots or you're not going to play defense. That's how that works.
Yeah, and he's had a really strong postseason thus far for the Golden Knights. Aside from that, he's also scoring goals, which is nice because part of the reason why you're paying Shea Theodore is to score goals as a defenseman. So there you go.
Oh, listen, if you're a Tortorella guy, you're not going to play on his blue line if you're not taking shots, blocking shots, I should say. One more 5-card pack of Allure before we get to some basketball and say farewell on this edition of Rip N Riff. Appreciate you watching and ripping along with us. All right, so what do we got here? The last pack, we start with a lot of St. Louis Blues today. Robert Thomas, who was big trade deadline speculation, and decided to hold on to him. We'll see what happens in the offseason. That's another guy that Montreal is potentially linked to for their second-line center, but asking price was apparently way too high.
Yeah, Thomas will get moved this summer, I think. So someone will, because you're going to have all these teams that come up short in the playoffs, and because it's just a weak free agency market in general, and the Thomas contract isn't a bad one, all things considered. Someone will wind up ponying up the price because they need a second-line center.
Detroit. That was another name linked to Robert Thomas. That would certainly help.
I hope it's not Detroit. It would be a waste.
It would be a waste if you went to Detroit. All right, we've got Evgeny Malkin, talked about him earlier. Much as I'd love to see like him and Crosby kind of walk off to the Steel City sunset together, like it would be cool to see Malkin and Ovechkin. That would be a different look. And they would both get a little rejuvenation off of playing one. That would be a cool thing.
Yeah. I don't have anything else to add on top of that.
All right. We got 3 more hockey cards before we get to the basketball here. We got a Cutter Gauthier. That's, worked out, I know that they got the better end with the Jamie Drysdale and all that. He's worked out okay in Philly, but man, Gauthier has been fantastic in Anaheim.
They took advantage of that situation very nicely.
Must be real tough to convince a guy in his early 20s, want to come play in Orange County, California? You could do a lot worse than that. Let's see here. We had a Morgan Riley base. Now we get the Morgan Riley glitter bomb parallel there. That's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Like a disco ball.
Yeah, I like that. That's gonna be an interesting one, only because he clearly has the no move clause and he controls the situation. And if he doesn't want to leave, he doesn't want to leave.
At that point, you may just have to be like, all right, he's just gonna have to stick it out and play through the crappy part of the rebuild that's coming up there in Toronto. And then we wrap the pack here with a proper, cutely worded Hugh's next, playing off the word Hugh. We've got Artyom Levshunov from the Chicago Blackhawks. We'll see what he does next season. Chicago started to look like they were starting to cook a little bit there at the end of the season. We'll see if they can do something next year. Again, that Central Division, it's really tough to make any moves in. Like, you're basically shooting for 4th place. And with Utah looking to make a big splash, probably going to be 5th place. There we go. Levshunov there, and that'll wrap up the hockey. Again, the Stanley Cup playoffs have been great. I will say this is the last probably couple. We have a double that we're guaranteed double headers in late night hockey. And after this, it goes to 1 game a night. So that'll be pretty sad when that happens. Now, we will do a lot of basketball here. We got a few minutes left. I had some basketball packs burning a hole, some 2000, 2001 Topps tip-off there. So these are only 6-card packs, so we'll rip through them pretty quick here. An era of basketball that Jared and I actually know a little bit about. There we go. All right. So first up, we start off with a couple of good ones here. We got an NBA draft pick, number 8, a guy who is a very good player in this league and very well respected amongst his peers, Jamal Crawford.
He played for a long time in the NBA, 6th man of the year, won a lot of awards, very good role player. So very cool to see that.
But one of those guys that has a spot on any roster. He always found a way to be useful. We got a couple of draft pick cards in here. Next up, we've got one of the better players to come out of Duke, Topps All rookie Elton Brand.
Is he one of the better players to come out of Duke? Yeah, I guess. I mean, like he had a long playing career.
Better big men. So let's specify. We'll narrow that down a little. Better.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. I feel like there's been better players come out of Duke, but I'll accept that.
You'll allow it. We've got a Daily Double G Tim Duncan here game. It's actually a game you play. I don't know. There we go. Sure, somebody.
Well, Daily Double, like in Jeopardy.
Like the lasers that go off. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see here. What else do we got in this pack here? We've got not another Bulls draft. Well, geez, what did Bill Zimmerman make this pack? We got Marcus Fizer, Chicago Bulls draft pick there. Didn't really work out that well out of Iowa State. Let's see here. He was a good shooter coming out of Florida. You remember Mike Miller, picked by the Orlando Magic there?
Yep, and I remember the Miami Heat going out of their way to add Mike Miller when LeBron went there.
There you go. I got to say, this other pack's probably going to be terrible. We've got an Anthony Peeler card with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And then we've got, all the talk about AI in the world today, but there's only one true AI. That's Allen Iverson.
That's correct. I'm glad you brought up AI because I'm starting to get to the point with AI where I'm fucking sick of it.
The computer stuff, not the basketball player.
No, like I have nothing against Allen Iverson.
I was going to say,
like I'm on YouTube the other day, and like I feel like my algorithm is like half of like the crap that the algorithm suggested to me is just YouTube slop, like AI slop.
Yeah, it's like I don't need as much of it. Like, yeah, I feel you. We got another pack coming here. All right, let's see what we got here. We've got a coming soon insert set here. Tiny bit of brooking to deal with. Let's take care of that. Latrell Sprewell, nice shot there with the New York Knicks. His career recovered from choking his coach. So if you ever choked your boss, you use him as inspiration that you can emerge and still be okay.
Yeah, and the Knicks making short work of the Sixers in the second round, sweeping them, moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals. So good job for them.
Good job by them. They'll get the winner of Detroit and Cleveland.
Yeah.
So the Knicks could get to the NBA Finals, and it's been some time into the finals.
I think the Pistons will smoke them.
Really? I think the Knicks could give them a little bit of a fight there. We'll see. Kevin Garnett, daily double. Tops advantage here. We got old school Warrior here, Larry Hughes. Also, he played with AI in Philly for a while, but that Warriors look didn't last too long. Probably the least favorable.
Who's the player you associate with that look the most? I think for me, it's Baron Davis.
Warriors, yeah, probably Baron Davis, I would say. Maybe Anton Jameson.
Ooh, good pull. Yeah.
Now this was a first overall pick that you don't want to throw the word bust around too much, but Michael Olowokandi.
Yeah, well, that was back when the Clippers were doing Clipper things. So
there you go. If you ever never watched that series, I forget what it was on, where Al Bundy plays Donald Sterling. It's excellent. It really is. Let's see.
I have not. I could only imagine. I could only imagine how it went.
It was, dude. If I know the TV shows aren't your thing, but that's a good. Bo Outlaw there with the Magic. Actually, probably one of his better cards. Bo Outlaw. Yeah, it's like it's kind of like Max Power. We got Max Finley, Dallas Mavericks, and then last but not going against Jason
Michael Finley, not Max Finley.
Michael Finley. Same Max Power on the mind. Going against Kid there. That's a good card. And then we close with one of the better point guards of all time, is John Stockton.
These are these are pretty good cards. Some heavy hitters in there. Certainly some guys you remember. I'm always a big fan of these cards. If you're a kid and you're buying a pack of trading cards and you don't have a lot of money to spend on these cards, you have your $5 or whatever it costs, you want to get players you've heard of. That to me is the biggest thing. Like, you don't want to get like a bunch of randos, like 13th guy off the bench sort of thing. And at least with those cards, and I feel like all the cards we ripped today, you certainly got that.
Definitely between the mix of the two hockey packs and the basketball pack, your baseball pack, your hockey. Yeah, we had a successful Rip and Riff here on our Rip and Riff today, or the successful pack ripping session. Now we are coming up on allaboutthejersey.com.
I'm continuing our free agency series. So I forget who I wrote about this week because I wrote the article 3 weeks ago and just scheduled it. So it'll be up this week. It'll be a surprise to you and me.
There you go. For some deep prior, we'll see what the Devils are going to do in the offseason there. They hired a new assistant GM today, I saw. So
Braden Birch, or whatever his name is, he was in Florida with Sonny Meta. So he'll be the AGM. He'll be overseeing Utica, which Utica's been a disaster for however many years since the Devils added them as an affiliate and help manage the salary cap and scouting and all the sort of stuff that assistant GMs do.
Is it still the Comets, the Utica Comets?
Utica Comets, yeah.
I don't think they'll ever change that name. They've been the Comets freaking forever, no matter what their affiliation. And then of course Jared Moore Poker. If you want some poker shorts and content in your feed, and of course Total Hockey Now. Because I don't have jury duty this week, we get to return to our normal time.
Yay!
5:00 Eastern, 2:00 Pacific. Preview whatever games and series are still remaining at that point, and maybe even look ahead to a conference finals matchup. Kind of how things go. But that'll do it for this edition of Rip and Riff. For at Mr. Jared Moore, I am at fucking Tots Adam Bernard. Back with you next week for the final Rip and Riff of the season here on the Rip and Riff YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.